Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Muscle Whisperer with me, Leora Sharp.
And me, Darien Pritchard.
In this video, we will look at what massage practitioners often call good pain, bad pain. So let's jump into this hot topic.
Skilled and experienced massage practitioners often refer to good pain versus bad pain according to the client's responses. What do people mean by this? Well, good pain is, oh, that feels good. I can just go with it. I can feel release happening. And bad pain is, that's too much.
And in this profession, we come across practitioners and clients who often say no pain, no gain. They want us to work really deeply, which can be hurting them. And as we'll discuss later, can also tense the tissues. But there's a lot of talk about town for practitioners thinking, I think, and also clients thinking, no pain, no gain. What do you think about that, Darien?
I prefer to describe the extreme end of that attitude as no gain without extreme pain. Yes, some clients don't want pain, some do, and some feel like if I'm not being tortured, nothing's happening. But many clients are in the middle ground and many practitioners operate there. So we're going to look at the two ends of the scale and then look at where we situate ourselves in the middle of the scale. So why don't you talk about good pain?
Oh, good pain. What does that feel like? I love it when I get a nice deep pressure that's quite spread, like a maybe using even just this part of the forearm, because it feels less pokey than a finger. And when I have a practitioner who's using their forearms with skillful sensitivity and leans in with a broad pressure, I feel like I get this kind of, oh yeah, that feels great. It's sometimes challenging, but I can find myself softening into it and I can feel a release in the tissues. You know, it's doing good and your muscles are responding, but it's not hurting, and then you want to jump off the table. And as a practitioner, when I'm delivering that lovely, deep, good, beneficial pain, at this point I can't really call it pain because it feels great. I feel like I can coach my clients because they're in that responsive mode and the pressure's just right. I can coach them into relaxing into it, and I can encourage them to use their breath together with the pressure that we're working with. Then the tissues will relax even more. I'll be working skillfully and sensitively, and I can then encourage them to give me verbal feedback.
When you are applying strong pressure, it's really important that you get the client's feedback so that you know that it's manageable for them. How do you get feedback? You watch them in action. You see if there's things happening in their body in response. You feel the tissues under your hands. There may be little flicks of pressure or something that indicate there's a reaction, and you get verbal feedback from the client. And that's the way that you ensure that it's manageable for that client at that moment.
So watch, feel, and verbal are the three things for us to keep in our brains as we're delivering this great pressure.
So what we're trying to feel for there is that in the moment, this is manageable for them, that they can go with the pressure. And as Leora said earlier, you're encouraging them to breathe, particularly to breathe out and to relax a little bit, but also to let you know at any time if it becomes too much. And in that context, it's important to remember that good pain, manageable pain, can become bad pain if you keep pushing them to those limits without giving them a breathing space, without giving them time out to catch up with themselves.
And I know that one thing I remember when I did my original hands-free training with you, it's always stuck with me, and that is back off for a moment and then give them the opportunity for the work that you've just done to integrate.
Yeah, it's the beginning of a gear change. It's like, oh. But if you come in with something too quick after that, it hasn't had time to settle. And as you say, it hasn't had time to integrate. So I leave my hands on, but I don't push anything new. It's like the beginning of the gear change, and I need to give it time to work through, settle in. And for them, their body, their brain to catch up with that, move into that new space.
I love that idea. And I think I say it in every training and whenever I'm working with a practitioner. So I've been repeating your wisdom, oh wow, since 2009 now. It's perfect.
It's important to remember that with strong strokes, even things that most people consider pretty heavy, like deep tissue work and percussion, can be done in a lighter way and easier way that makes them manageable for the client. So find a way of doing them, even if you're pushing the client, challenging the client a little bit, but you're not pushing them over that threshold into bad pain.
So I guess what we're saying here is for any percussion kind of movement, it can be quite soft like this, and this could be quite challenging for someone. Or if I went a little bit with a little bit more pace, a little bit more pressure, that's more challenging, but could feel way too much for someone. So we can still moderate even a percussion for the pressure.
The other element of making it manageable for people is to move into it not too abruptly, not to suddenly go into big, abrupt jackhammer percussion or very deep pressure work too abruptly, but to feel your way in to make transitions more smoothly.
And then also back off smoothly as well. I always like to do that as well. I think it feels really good. You don't want to start slowly and gently, then get up to a stronger movement, and then just continue with the massage. It's almost like a piece of music, isn't it? You know how in our previous videos we spoke about the dance of massage, and this is almost like a crescendo and then dropping into softness.
And similarly, I don't want to suddenly go deep tissue. I want to feel in, and that gives me time to feel how the client's tissue is responding, and it gives them time to relax into it and give me feedback if necessary. Leora, if you'd like to talk a little bit more about what we mean by bad pain.
Well, if we look at anatomy and physiology, we will see that that's going to evoke a sympathetic nervous system response, which, as we know, includes muscle tightening. So, Darien, don't you feel that it's kind of counterproductive to apply so much pressure in order to relax a muscle, but then the muscle's tensing up against it? It feels to me like the more I press deeper and deeper, the more they're going to tense up against me.
Yeah, you're into a vicious cycle there. As you say, the more you press, the more they tense up, which means that you work harder to try and relax them and they tense up more. Vicious cycle, and you're much more likely then to cause bruising, and they're less likely to go with the experience. They don't feel, oh, this is relaxing. They just come out and feel maybe even bruised.
And as the practitioner, probably then going to be landing up in the situation where we're pushing and pushing and pushing our own bodies too much. So it's always good to remember from that perspective as well. Let's be kind to ourselves. And the bad pain, the potential bad pain that we could be delivering to a client is not going to be doing us any good either, with the impact of the pushing on our joints.
Yeah, in massage, when you're applying pressure, Newton's third law of motion says for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So the amount of pressure that I'm applying on the client is the amount of pressure I'm applying back up through my body. If I'm working harder and harder, that means I'm putting more pressure on my body, so I'm going to wear out faster, as well as pushing the client into that space where they tense up rather than relaxing.
So it actually sounds like the bad pain or the no pain, no gain is actually not good for the practitioner or the client, right?
One to accept that some people want that.
Yeah.
Some people expect that. Maybe you can talk to them. Some people are quite surprised that an easier way of working still has a deep effect. But ultimately, I think we've both chosen that if clients just want us to attack, that we're not prepared to wear ourselves out and deliver that. And there are practitioners around who are happy to do that, but we would burn out trying to do it. And we wouldn't be happy either in our bodies or what we're offering clients. So that's the choice people need to make sometimes. It's important to bear in mind that the client's responses can't be guaranteed. What's relaxing for one person, what encourages them to let go of tension, to relax muscles, will be different from another person. It will depend on their background, their experience, their expectations, the context in which you're working. It will also vary depending on whether they're new to massage and new to your style of working.
And if you are new to massage or you have a new client, it's going to take time to build trust with clients and for them to understand your approach to massage.
So we hope that we've helped you to understand good pain versus bad pain, manageable pressure versus intolerable pressure.
And whether you offer relaxing massages or invigorating sports massage, you can now start inquiring with yourself and with your clients, encouraging them to work with this good pain scenario rather than the bad pain scenario, which is not necessarily beneficial or enjoyable. Let's keep massage enjoyable.
So good luck.
We hope you've enjoyed watching today's video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we look forward to seeing you again soon.